Welcome. This presentation is about encouraging emotional growth and resilience in infants all through adolescence. Some of the information and resources may be useful for adults as well. Over the course of this presentation, you will hear different voices pertaining to Ceres Unified School District behavior analysts and school psychologists. The outcome for this presentation consists of defining resiliency and emotional growth, reviewing the benefits and impact of each on children as well as adolescents, reviewing emotional development through the developmental stages, and exploring ways to build resilience and emotional growth in children and adolescents. Emotional growth and resiliency, what they are and what they're not. According to the American Psychological Association, being resilient doesn't mean that a person won't experience difficulty or distress. People who have suffered major adversity or trauma in their lives commonly experience emotional pain and stress. The APA also indicates that resilience isn't necessarily a personality trait that only some people possess. In fact, resilience involves behaviors, thoughts, and actions that anyone can learn and develop. In an article from Positive Psychology, Courtney E. Ackerman outlines the following as benefits to building emotional growth and resilience. They promote higher self-esteem, improved learning and overall academic achievement, reduce risk-taking behaviors such as excessive drinking, smoking, and the use of drugs. Those with greater resilience tend to be more involved in the community and/or family activities. And higher resilience is related to a lower rate of mortality and increased physical health. Emotional resilience is a coping mechanism that helps us manage high pressure and stressful situations, sometimes described as a strength from within. Being emotionally resilient means that you can adapt to distressing or stressful situations when facing adversity and feeling stronger as well as ready for future challenges.
What is emotional growth? Emotional development is a complex process that begins at birth and continues into adulthood. Emotional development starts with young kids learning what feelings and emotions are, understanding how and why they happen, and recognizing their own feelings and those of others. What is resilience? Psychologists define resilience as the process of adapting well in the face of adversity, trauma, tragedy, threats, or significant sources of stress, such as family and relationship problems, serious health problems, or for many of our students, school stressors. Resiliency is present and develops across all ages. It's being able to recover quickly from difficulties or, in other words, bounce back from setbacks and or overcome hardships. What makes a person resilient? There are various characteristics that help to make an individual resilient. Some examples include being aware of one's own thoughts and emotions, practicing patience and forgiveness, being open to asking for help, and willingness to develop positive relationship with others, among many others that you see on the screen. Sources that build resilience and emotional growth. Stress-resistant individuals have common resiliency resources operating as two broad sets of developmental strengths which encourage and support the coping skills of children and adolescents. External resources are family, peers, school, and community that can serve as role models. Those who can provide structure and appropriate rules to follow, as well as a trusting adult in which they can confide and feel understood. Internal factors or personality characteristics such as empowerment, self-control, cultural sensitivity, self-concept, and social sensitivity where they can learn to communicate, learn to problem solve, and manage own feelings, which in turn develop self-advocacy, feeling loved and capable of loving, as well as feeling proud for their accomplishments. This is a visual example depicting the various elements of individual characteristics to help build resiliency. As you can see, high self-esteem, flexibility, strong positive relationships, spiritual freedom, positive coping skills, emotion regulation, mindfulness, and a non-judgmental frame of mind are all components of a resilient individual. In other words, if children and adolescents receive love and trust, food and shelter, the freedom to choose, safe environment, and safe relationships, this can be a protective element that leads to positive youth development. In addition, if parents and caretakers become involved in the school and have high expectations, this will be a key important factor in the development of resiliency.
Resiliency is present and develops across all ages. When fostering emotional growth and resilience, it is important to remember that the role of parents isn't to give them unnecessary things so that they can be happy all the time. Instead, one of the main jobs of parents is to prepare them for living fulfilling lives by teaching and modeling to them how to problem solve and face challenges. According to Alyssa Zorn, watching our kids struggle may feel bad in the moment and cause discomfort for us and them, but it's helping them gain the skills they need for a successful life, because each time we support our children through doing something on their own, we help them build resilience and increase their own competence and abilities. Next, we will explore children's abilities through the developmental ages and stages, and we will provide examples and non-examples of ways to encourage emotional growth and resilience. During this stage, the expression of emotions during infancy promotes the transition from complete dependency on parents to autonomy. The expression of interest promotes exploration and cognitive development. Social smiles that are intentional and other expressions of joy promote social interaction and healthy attachment relationships with their primary caregivers. Additionally, the emotional bond with the caregiver is increasingly important as the infant seeks support for exploration and look for signals of danger. Here's an example of how you can promote emotional growth and resilience when a baby's crying, screaming, or kicking. You can pick up the child, checking the diaper, checking if he or she is hungry, and trying to comfort her or him. We do not promote emotional growth and resilience by ignoring the child or walking away. Here are some additional tips for working with infants. Infants learn by interacting with others around them. These simple interactions help young children feel special and loved, in addition to supporting their early development. Smile, laugh, and cuddle with infants often throughout the day. Take time to read their cues. What are they trying to tell you? Do they need attention? Are they hungry or do they have a wet diaper? Do they want to be held? Based on their cues that they are telling you, you can meet their needs consistently and sensitively. Knowing what to expect during the day helps infants feel safe and secure. As much as possible, try to follow the same order of routineness and activities each day, like regular feeding and nap time schedules, or reading a book together before children go home. What does each child seem curious about? How are they feeling? What activities do they enjoy? Follow their lead will help you know how to respond and plan your daily activities around their interests, which also increases their eagerness to engage with you and learn. Be an emotional role model. Even at a very young age, infants learn by watching their caregivers. Responding calmly to situations, expressing joy, and showing kindness to others helps them learn how to behave and what to expect from future relationships. Next, we're going to quickly review the growth in toddlers and early childhood. During this toddler period, recognition of the self emerges. As a result, the toddler strives to become more independent, and the expression of anger and defiance increases in the struggle for autonomy. As children enter preschool, they begin to label their own emotions and rely on discourse about feelings with the family to facilitate their understanding of basic emotions. Young children first distinguish happiness from negative emotions, then begin to distinguish negative emotions such as sadness, anger, and fear from each other. Open expression of positive emotions and warm, supportive relationships between parents, caregivers, and children promote effective emotional self-regulation. Here an example. Your toddler gets into the kitchen and begins to take out all the pots and spoons from the drawers, making a mess in the kitchen and getting them all dirty. So one way you can promote resilience and emotional growth is by explaining to your toddler that those are not toys and directing him or her to the area where the toys are. Another way to promote resilience is to help him or her put the pots and spoons in the sink and spend some time in the toy area with them. We do not promote resilience and emotional growth when we take away the pots and spoons without explaining why, or simply yelling at them for the mess they made and perhaps leaving them there to cry. Next, we're going to go over some tips for working with toddlers. Toddlers enjoy exploring their environments. Set up a space so that they have a safe access to developmentally appropriate toys that they can explore independently. Knowing what to expect during the day helps children feel safe and secure and gives them a sense of control. Post a visual daily schedule for the children to see and refer to it throughout the day. For example, we just finished snack. Let's look at the schedule and see what comes next. When the schedule routine changes, communicate this to the children so that they know something will be different. When you show children patience, gentleness, and care for others through your everyday interactions, you are helping them learn to treat others the same way. Children need plenty of positive feedback and calm reminders as they are learning new skills. Toddlers are just beginning to follow directions and rules. When setting expectations with children, it's helpful for them when you focus on what they can and should do rather than using words like don't. You might say, let's use gentle hands instead of don't hit. Recognize and talk about their emotions, other comforts, and reassurances. Let children know that it's okay to have strong feelings like anger or frustration, and that you are there to help them manage those feelings. Teach ways to manage emotions, like introduce ways for children to handle their emotions. Each child is unique. One child may want a hug, while another may want time with their comfort item, like a blanket or a stuffed animal. Others might be okay to take deep breaths to cool down.
With adolescence comes an additional struggle for autonomy and increased time spent with peers and less time spent with family. Adolescents become less emotionally dependent on their parents, but this emotional autonomy often emerges after a period of conflict and increased experience of negative emotions. Dating relationships also become prominent during adolescence, but young adolescents may still have difficulty understanding that one person can evoke different and conflicting emotional responses. Identity development is important for adolescents as they approach adulthood. You can promote resilience and emotional growth by talking with your son to find out his motives for smoking and drinking non-judgmentally, to then brainstorm ideas on ways to cope with frustrations or stress as well as peer pressure. Creating a positive relationship with your teenage child will give you the opportunity for an honest and open communication. We do not promote resilience and emotional growth when we yell at our teenage children for smoking and drinking and/or engaging in arguments after they've ignored our instructions or labeling them as lazy or bad children. Help your teen make connections with others to help them build empathy and grow their support network. Encourage your child to help others and around the house, which can help them feel empowered. Maintain a daily routine and encourage your teen to develop their own routines for easy access to their daily activities. Take a break and teach your teen how to take a break. Show him or her that excessive worrying is unproductive and can be harmful, and encourage him or her to set aside what they are worried about at least once in a while through meditation or simply being present in the moment. Teach and model your teen self-care, including eating healthy, exercising, getting a good amount of sleep, and having downtime to just relax and have fun. Help your teen set reasonable goals and move toward them, one step at a time. This will help him or her to focus on what they have accomplished rather than what they haven't accomplished.
Nurture a positive self-view in your teen by reminding him or her of the ways he or she has successfully handled difficulties and hardships in the past, and connect their past success with their future potential. Help your teen keep things in perspective and encourage a positive view, especially when he or she is stuck on something negative right now. Look for opportunities for self-discovery and finding meaning in his or her life. Talk to your teen about their feelings as well as your own. Ask your teen about their opinions and be sure to allow them their own personal space, as your teen may prefer to spend time with their friends more often. During difficult situations, help your child find solutions to problems and ways to cope with the situation using healthy methods such as deep breathing, reading, writing, or drawing about it, making art, listening to music. Again, similar to younger children, avoid rescuing your teen from all uncomfortable situations and instead continue supporting him or her in finding solutions to challenges so they have practice handling difficult situations.
Building resilience in your children does not mean trying to toughen them up. It means working with them through struggles and being a source of loving unconditional support. Quote from Renewed Hope Parenting. Here's some questions and phrases you may find helpful to ask or say when your child or teen is struggling with a challenging situation. Questions and phrases such as, how would you handle that? What do you think you should do about that? It looks like you're working really hard on that. Do as much as you can and I'll help you with the parts you can't do on your own. These types of questions and phrases may support the child or adolescent, as well as you as the facilitator, to problem solve, focusing on solutions and coping, as opposed to focusing on the problem and difficulties. The questions and phrases do not necessarily ignore that there is a challenge or adversity, but it does not make it the main focus. In addition, having an open communication about scenarios to problem solve gives children and adolescents a sense of voice and empowerment to make the right decisions. This is a summary list of the strategies mentioned previously to assist your child and yourself in developing resilience. Each of these strategies helps to build flexibility, regulation, self-esteem, positive coping skills, and other elements required for resilience. In addition to the previous 10 tips, these simple exercises to use with your children and adolescents may provide support in your journey of building resilience and emotional growth. Simple meditation and mindfulness can help you and your children become more aware of your thoughts, feelings, and body sensations to be able to better manage them. Challenging negative thoughts with positive thoughts helps put us in a more empowered place to deal with challenges, and as a result, they are viewed as temporary and/or changeable. Gratitude builds resilience and emotional growth by helping us see the positive things in life, even when those things seem small or insignificant. It is a way to appreciate what one receives and helps us focus on what we have as opposed to what we don't have. You may model or together with your children can give thanks for having health, having the opportunity to go to school to learn, or having food, for example. It is our hope that this presentation has been helpful to you, and here are some resources that can assist you when creating and maintaining routines to develop a sense of safety for your children and adolescents or those you're caring for. Included are also videos that demonstrate how to practice meditation, which can help in dealing with stress by relaxing the mind and body. Lastly, there are 2 different sites you may visit to learn and teach children coping strategies when dealing with difficult emotions, and ways you can connect with your child or those you're caring for using the 5 love languages. You may pause this video at any time or rewind it to write them down. Thank Thank you very much for listening to this presentation. May you and your children have a wonderful day every day.